Hi, my name is Leonard Munson, and welcome back to the new edition of the Full Moon. I'm sorry that I'm running late about this because everything was going haywire over the weekend, so I didn't have a chance to do it at that time. So I figured you still want to know how the full moon will affect you on October the 31st, 2020. Now, the full moon represents a culmination of everything. The moon represents your emotions. If you ever had your chart done, you will see that the moon rules your emotions, how you emotionally react to things. Okay, now this is going to be a very spooky full moon. We have a full moon on October the 31st, which is Halloween, and we also have a blue moon. When any time you have two full moons in the same month, the latter one is called the blue moon. I know you're familiar with this song, Blue Moon. I saw you standing alone. I think it's by the Drifters. So that's where we get the blue moon. Okay. So the energy of the full moon is around the fixed sign of Taurus because the sun is in Scorpio and the moon is in Taurus. That's when you have a full moon, when the sun is in one sign and is in its opposite sign. Taurus is the second house, and it's ruled by Venus, which deals with money, love, and possession. So it deals with money, work, and possession. So the sun in Scorpio deals with uh, intimacy, share resources, death and resurrection, rising from the ashes, uh, like the great Sphinx at Giza. It also represents death at transformation and rebirth. So it must be a balance between love, money, work and possession, death and transformation and rebirth. So all these things are coming into for being with the full moon in Taurus. And it's on October the 31st, which is Halloween. And Halloween is one of the spookiest times of the year. Okay, it's where a thin line between light and dark. So, since this is happening on this full moon and with the blue moon, so there's going to be a lot of spooky and gobblish things happen. So, expect the unexpected. And Uranus, which is in Taurus and retrograding, anytime you have a planet retrograding, the two key words is RE, review, recheck, reexamine, re-everything. Okay. So you're going to look back when the planet was going direct 5 months ago and see what you miss, what detail you miss, and straighten it out, incorporate it when it goes direct. Then we have Mercury retrograding in Libra. Libra is an air sign, which deals with intellectual. It's a house of the seventh house, which is deal with seven deals with the divine direction. It deals with creativity, balancing all your partnerships and relationships out, and it also deals with open enemies, house of spiritual blessings, and it also deals with using diplomacy and be a diplomat to get what you want. It also deals with decisions and indecisions, the house of others, and legal situations. So there will be a balance in that and bringing an ending to that too. This indicates that anything can and most likely will happen during this full moon period. Your emotion response to the full moon could be seriously surprise you. Think of it this way. If the full moon was a horror movie, then Uranus would be more creepy Victorian child ghost that suddenly appears in the bathroom mirror when you start to close it. Okay? Had this full moon wasn't so spooky, we have Mercury retrograding, what I just said, and Mercury will go direct on November the 3rd, 2020. Then it will go into its post-retrograde period. Will it take a 2-week period for it to move up speed? So this is the time to reinvert all your communication efforts, which you miss, the details and everything, and bring it into a plan and move forward with it. And also there will be a square with Jupiter pushing Saturn and destructive Pluto. So a square represents something that's going against you, something that's going against you. So what was going against you in love, money, work, and possession is now coming to that ending, okay? And then transformation and rebirth in those areas for you. Okay, so let's look at how it's going to affect Aries. Well, it's like a real horror story, Aries. You cannot control the antagonist, but you can control the response to it. Accept limitation and embrace the opportunities you do have. There's nothing is etched in stone, but you can think of clever ways to outwit that monster. Taurus, there are many parts of you that you have yet to discover. Many people living inside you that you haven't even known yet. So they're coming out to meet you. Embrace the possibility that you are not the person you thought you were. Change may seem like a monster, but the real monster is the fear of change. Look the monster right in its eye. Okay, so change is coming around, Taurus. So look the monster in its eye. And now Saturn will be leaving Capricorn, that has been affecting you for the last 2.5 years, on December the 19th. So if you have learned the lessons, rebuilt on a firmer, stronger structure, then the monster has no control over you. Gemini, you are tapping into energies that are normally unseen, energies that you have always had access to, but you never acknowledged it. So there's a new acknowledgement in your psychic ability and your intuitiveness and your feelings. And this will come into you, Gemini, through your dreams, through symbols and signs in nature, your spiritual animal totems that are protecting you, also in repeating numbers. Don't be afraid of embracing your psychic power. Your intuition has the power. Don't be afraid to embrace your psychic power. Your intuition has the power to tell you the total and complete truth. Are you afraid of the truth, or would you rather know what is real? I'm not afraid of the truth, and I want to know what is real. Cancer, remember to think for yourself. Don't have other people think for you. We can get information. It's like if we're going to buy something, for example, a car. We go and look at the car. We see how much it costs, what it's made, how we can finance it, and then you make that final decision. You gather all the information together and make the final decision. The world will often try to convince you that something is a monster. But have you ever considered that the real monster is the world? Get to know the monster yourself. Don't let the world tell you how to feel about it. The monster might be more beautiful than you ever could have imagined. Cancer. Leo, everyone has magical powers. However, some people are afraid of attempting to use their magical powers because it means failure. So you fail one time, 4, 5, 6, or 10, or 20 times, Leo. You go back and see what made you fail each time, and you correct it until when you try it again, you succeed. Perhaps you want your wand. Perhaps your wand won't work Maybe your portion will do nothing, but trying is how you learn. Failure is part of the process. Every legendary witch knows that. Virgo, when you hop onto a broomstick, fly away, there's no telling where you will end up. So take that venture, take that journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey getting to the destination and the side tracks and this and that to explore. So that's what you need to do, Virgo. Hell no. It's flying broomstick, for goodness sake. The flying is what makes the journey beautiful, not the destination. And remember, full moon lasts for 2 weeks, so we're still in the full moon cycle. And some believe that the waste of the full moon is just as powerful as the full moon leading up to itself. So it's like sweeping the floor and sitting down and say, oh, I didn't get all that up. So you might have to sweep the floor more again. Okay? Libra, there is a wolf living inside of you. If you ignore that wolf existence, it will only get impatient. I will howl, snore, growl until it gets your attention. Instead of keeping a trap in a cage, get to know the wolf. Understanding the wolf triggers instincts, emotions. You can train this wolf to protect you if you're willing to put the work in. So don't run away from yourself, Libra. Get to know who you are, what makes you happy, what brings a balance in your life. Scorpio is a quintessential dark fantasy relationship that is usually more vampire and one human. Usually one vampire and one human. It is easy to romanticize the obvious power imbalance to such a relationship. So don't get twisted. Don't get it twisted, Scorpio. In real life, one partner should never have too much power over the other. Don't ever let someone convince you that you don't have fangs of your own. In other words, fangs, you can suck their blood too. Okay? So there must be a balance here in a partnership and relationship. No one has power. Everyone has an equal amount of balance and interest to make the relationship to grow prosperous. Okay? Sagittarius, when you are haunted by a ghost and they just won't leave, don't lose hope. First, you need to learn how to get rid of the ghost, Sag. There are many steps to take, many techniques to rid yourself of a pesky poltergeist. Don't give up before you have barely started trying. Keep practicing, and eventually that ghost won't stand a chance. So, in other words, the ghost is fears and things that you have inside of you, Sag. So confront it, deal with it, and then it will vanish. By not confronting these issues, it's just going to fester and fester and scare you and scare you. But when you confront it and look it in its eyes, it has no power. You have your power back. So don't give up your power. Capricorn, when you live in a world full of people who don't believe in magic, it's easy to act like you don't have magical powers. After all, you don't want to be judged what makes you different. But what makes you different is also what makes you beautiful. Do you really want to go through the pretending that magic is not sparking at your fingertips? In other words, be yourself. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. People will accept you as who you are, because if they can't accept you, then the hell with them. Love yourself. Take care of yourself, Cap. And if you don't want to do something, you don't want to do it. That's that. Finger Aquarius, at the heart of every powerful witch is a heath, a place where they can let down their defensive and nurture their magic. It may not be flashiest part of being a witch, the flashiest part of being a witch, but it essentially to their overall vitality. Don't ignore your heart's innermost needs. Invest time, energy into creating the heat that will always keep you warm at the cold day. In other words, Aquarius, invest time in some place that is your quiet place from the maddening crowd. Make it comfortable for you. That's the number one. That you feel warm, cozy, and comfortable there. And then make it comfortable and enjoyable for any guests that you invite there. Okay? Okay. Pisces. Whenever you speak, you are casting a spell. Whether you realize it, your words not only impact the world, but they create your own world. Are the spells you cast in your own best interest? Do you make the world a better place? It is time to move about. It's time to learn about the spells you're casting. Make sure the magic you leave behind is filled with integrity. In other words, Pisces, when you speak, you're casting a spell. You're making people notice you. You're making people to listen to the, the love, the support, the encouragement, the things that they need to hear. You'll be surprised a calming word cast a spell, uh, Pisces, because that person could have been at the end of its rope, ready to hurt themselves, ready to give up. And the divine source of the universe speaks to you to give this message to that person. So that is what they're saying, to cast that spell to bring light and direction back into their life and faith. Okay, everyone, I hope you like the belated full moon, blue moon, on October the 31st at 10:49 a.m. 2020. I hope you get some I hope you receive some positive insight into what's happening in your life at this time. Remember, the full moon cycle began on October the 31st and it will last for a 2-week period. So we're still in that cycle. So let's go out and make magic despite all the googly and the monsters, the vampires, and all who are out to make us scary. Let's face it. Vampire, here's the cross. Holy water, get them out. Okay? Ciao. I'll see you on the new moon.